Hey, how's it going? My name's Rich from Elk Endeavors, and tonight I wanted to talk to you about several things that I've learned over the last year and how they can help you manifest success for your own online business. So that's what I want to do. So by the end of the video today, I'm going to be talking about growth mindset, success mindset, and then money mindset. Okay, so that's what you have to think about. That's what you have to look forward to, and we'll go ahead and get started. So before we do that, if you like what I have to say, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know how things are going, and drop me a comment and let me know if you like what I have to do and like what I have to say. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay. So I was thinking about over the weekend. I was listening to Tony Robbins and Dean Grazioni, and they had a big a webinar. There's an argument over what it was called, a webcast or webinar. And they were talking about how in a seminar, Tony Robbins talked about this. In a seminar, like when you go to a seminar, the idea is that the person who's running the seminar collapses decades into days. Okay, so the idea is that the person who's running the seminar has had decades of experience, and they want to collapse that into like 3 days worth of information that you can go and you can pay a lot of money to go and see, but ultimately you don't have to spend all those decades learning what they've already learned, right? You've been taught that they can teach you everything that they've learned and put you on the track to success that much faster. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm kind of going off that model where I'm trying to collapse a year into a few videos that sort of talk about what I've done and what I've learned, so that you can know number one, know what to expect, and then learn from some of my mistakes. So some of these that I'm going to be talking about tonight really aren't mistakes. They're things that I've learned and I didn't even know existed. So that's where the difference is going to be tonight in this video. But it's a really important video to me because this is where all my successes come from, these ideas. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the three mindsets that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so growth mindset, success mindset, and money mindset. So when you're talking about the growth mindset, I'm very fortunate in that I have studied quite a bit about how to help people succeed in whatever they're doing. Okay, so I have 3 kids, and one of the biggest things that I've learned to talk to them about is, I don't tell them that they're smart. I tell them that they've worked really hard to learn that. I don't, when they say I can't do this, and I always point out and I say yet, right? You can't do it yet, right? But you have to keep trying. You have to keep doing. And that comes with when you think about kids walking, right? Like a child walking. If a child continue to try and try, ultimately they're gonna succeed, right? That's just it's in our DNA. It's innate in our humanity, right? So when you think about that, you try to think about walking. You're riding a bike, right? My son, my daughter had a hard time learning to ride a bike, and then my son didn't really have a hard time learning on the bike, and the reason was because he had one of those balance bikes. So my daughter didn't have that. My son did, and he went a lot faster. But both of them, struggled. You always struggled when you're learning how to ride a bike. But the whole point was saying not yet. You haven't learned how to do it yet. Okay, and I show them all the time things that I haven't figured out yet, right? And I'm always learning. So even when I've sort of figured out the idea of affiliate marketing, now it's into the learning mode, and then once I learn the basics of it, now it's learning the intricacies of it and thinking about how to improve myself and how to improve my business so I can help others improve their business. So that's what I'm trying to do tonight in my YouTube videos. So remember that word yet is a very important word for you. Okay, for all of us. And then we'll get into success mindset. Okay, so this is something that I had never really thought of or worried about, okay? Because in my mind, and as I was brought up and as I understand, from society, the way that we're brought up in society, you're going to be successful, right? I'm going to be successful in whatever I do. But what that means is different than what it means to me now, right? So I'm very successful in what I do, and I'm very proud of what I do, right? But I haven't become I'll always be looking for more success. in my actual profession. And then I'm always looking for more success in my business, because the responsibility lies, if I know how to do this, if I know how to do affiliate marketing and I want to help people, then it's my responsibility to be as successful as possible so that I can help other people make money and have them be successful. So that's a really important thing, right? So the success mindset is that really blew my mind when I heard that, where it was like, it's my responsibility to be successful. I'm using this information, I'm getting this information from other people who have learned it, and I'm taking it and I'm making it my own. And now it's my responsibility to make sure I'm successful so that other people can be successful. If I'm not successful, that means that other people can't be successful. Other people can't know what I'm talking about. Other people can't know about what's happening online. And that way, like, all these opportunities are lost, right? So even if I only, at this point, like, touched 10 people's lives, that's 10 people that know more about online business than they would have had I not pursued this dream, what became a dream of mine. And so that's a really important thing. So success mindset, like, I think the two most important parts of it are goals. Okay, so I have as I've shown you before, I have my goal cards. This is my same one. This is my long-term goal. It's laminated, right? You can hear that, it's laminated real thick, right? And then I have short-term goals, right? So I have these two long-term goals. My daughter drew me pictures, right? I have these two long-term goals, and I have short-term goals that I keep on. I don't laminate, and you know why I don't laminate them? I don't want to have these very long, right? I want to meet them and move on. Okay, so when I meet a goal, I write crushed on it, right on top of it, so you can hardly read what was the goal, and I just, like, stick it up on my bathroom mirror so I can see the success that I'm having, and move on from there, right? So these goals, and with these goals comes the idea that I will never quit. Okay. And I've put myself in a position, I really want to make a video about this, but I don't know quite how to do it in a concise manner. But the idea of never quitting is so important to success. And the way that I've seen this and the way that I've manifested this in my own head is that, like, there's really not anything that I can quit. Like, I started this affiliate marketing business. I started doing business online. And at this point, so many plates are spinning, so many things are rolling that I can't stop it, right? Like, it's going. So there's things that I have in motion. There's ads that I have out there, and there's things that are going. I have traffic running in different places that I can't stop at this point, right? So even if I wanted to quit, I couldn't. If I said, okay, I quit, the money would still be coming in, right? Which is a really cool thing. But that's the way it is, right? And I liken it to when I actually spent 3 weeks on the Appalachian Trail, and that I've also ridden my bike across the country 4 times. But the Appalachian Trail, my point is that there were points where even if I wanted to quit, like, if I was on the Appalachian Trail and I only spent 3 weeks out there, and I went from Maine to a place called Monson, Maine, right? So I only walked about 150 miles, I think, over 3 weeks. But if I had gotten to like 30 miles in, if I said, you know what, I quit, I still have to walk 30 miles back. So it's like, well, why would I walk 30 miles back when I can just keep walking, another 120 miles, 120 miles to get to where I was meant to go, right? That way I don't feel bad. And even, like, every step forward, if I decide to quit, that means it's a step backward that I have to take. It's a literal step backward that I have to take. And that wasn't something I was willing to do. Same thing with my bike riding, right? Like, I got to, I rode my bicycle through, on the first time I did it, I rode my bicycle all the way through California, all the way through Nevada, and then halfway through Utah. And if I decided to say, you know what, I quit, I don't want to do this anymore, I would have to ride all the way back, right? I mean, not literally, because I could have gotten a flight or whatever, from wherever I was in Utah. But, like, my point is that, like, once you get going, then there's no reason to quit, right? So that's a really important thing. So those are the success mindset things that I want to talk about. And they all talk about goals. Like, ultimately you have to have goals to avoid quitting on, right? Like, these are my goals. These are the things I will not ever quit on. These will occur. These will happen. I write them in the in the present tense as though they have happened. I imagine them, and eventually I will be living these goals, right? All right. So finally, the money mindset. This was a very fascinating thing for me, and this was the big turning point for me over the last year. And it has to do with abundance mindset versus a poverty mindset. So like a mindset of abundance as opposed to a lack, things like that. And then that money doesn't like a vacuum, right? So when you're generous and you give and you offer money, you then are in position to receive it, right? It's like when you stand and you're sort of open instead of crossed like this, and you're closed, right? If you're open and you're kind of like waiting for people to help you, or waiting to people come in your lives, but you're open to that happening, then it will happen, right? So with the abundance mindset, this was something that I was fascinated by. This is where all my ideas of, if you've watched other videos about my idea about the fact that making ends meet, it doesn't work. That like you can't make ends meet ever. You have to just like leapfrog over the ends, and because ultimately the ends will meet, but they'll butt and they'll break apart. But if you think about things in abundance, and you think about things that like, I can do this, and you instead of saying like I can't afford that, you can say how can I afford that? Like if I look at a vacation, like I want to go on a vacation, right? I no longer say I wish I could afford that, or I'll never be able to afford that. I say how can I afford that? And then I go to work trying to figure out and making sure that I can afford that, because I'm going to go, right? If I decide and if I want to take my family on vacation, then I'm going to do that. And whatever it takes for me to do that is what I'll do. I'll learn how to do business. I'll get better at something, but ultimately it's going to happen for me, right? And that's the attitude that you have to have according to money. Okay, so growth mindset. Yet is a key word. Success mindset. Make sure you have your goals. Okay, and money mindset. Abundance, right? Think abundantly. You have it. It's already in your hands. It's just a matter of like when it's going to get there. Okay. So once you've thought of it, as Earl Nightingale says, once you've thought of something, it's already yours. You just have to manifest it, right? So that's what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. I hope that was very helpful. I'm going to come back next Thursday. So I decided I'm going to do Monday and Thursday. Okay. So Monday and Thursday are going to be my videos. I have to figure out the times. But thank you very much for watching. If you like what I have to do or I have to say, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified of all my new videos, because I do put out random videos at times. And then also comment below if you have any comments. Give me a thumbs up. I think I covered everything, all the bases, and I very much appreciate you watching. And we'll see you on Thursday.